name is Amy Cox. I bet I'm not the only one who's been through a lot to get here. In fact, I'm certain every one of us have lived through some rough times that have brought us to this room. Here's a glimpse of a day in my life during both my grandmother and mother's illnesses. After about 3 hours of sleep, I wake up bleary-eyed. I get ready for school and go. Few people at school care or know much about me. I get through the day, then go to work as a junior staff at the club. At 7, I head home to get clothes, and I'm immediately off to the hospital to my grandma. I do whatever I can for her, trying to do the things my mother would be doing, except she can't be here because she's sick too. Later, I walk home to fix dinner for my mother, who lays in bed waiting for me to get there. After eating, I bathe my mom, then start on housework. When that's done, I walk back to the hospital with my books. As my grandma sleeps, I do my homework. Eventually, I go to sleep too. I wake up after about 3 hours and start all over again. That was my normal day as a 15-year-old. Normal, that is, until my grandmother died in August. But as you can see, very little happened in my life that I found positive, that gave me hope. Except for one thing. I mentioned it, but I skipped over the important part. Nowhere else did I feel inspired. Nowhere else did I feel others reaching out to me instead of the other way around. Nowhere else am I pushed to do my best. Nowhere else but the club. Being at the club gave me time to speak, to relax, and to be myself. After the abuse I took from my father at age 6, the club stepped right in to make me feel safe. Nowhere else did I feel that way. With Keystone, I learned about real need. I thought I was needy until I helped with my first food giveaway. When you hand someone a load of groceries just because they need it, your perspective on life changes. You see the world through the eyes of others. Before that, I never really understood hunger. As each person walks away happy, I feel better and more appreciative of my own life, and I realize I have nothing to complain about. I learned that nowhere else but the club. But the club isn't around just to teach us things. It's a place to belong. It's like family, but better. Just like I know that everyone competing here today must have come through some rough times, I also know that we'll have staff at the club that are like parents to us, and I do too. My mentor, my friend, my second mom is Stacy Steele. Nowhere else but the club could I find someone like Stacy. When I was young and a terrible student, Stacy put me in Power Hour. I hated it at first, but very soon I figured something out. I didn't care about school, but I sure liked it when Stacy told me I had done well. Before I knew it, I was doing well not for Stacy, but for myself. Later on, Stacy talked me into Smart Moves. I was a sheltered kid and didn't come out of my shell very often. In Smart Moves, Stacy put me into groups, and I had to actually participate, something I could hardly stand to do. But by the end of the program, I was involved and felt comfortable. Nowhere else but the club could I have busted through my shell like that. So, when you hear about my difficult days taking care of my grandmother and mother, and doing homework late at night in the hospital, don't wonder how I gained the ability to struggle through. You know the answer now. I became the person you see here today, nowhere else but the club.